Clock in, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. You see the star on the field, you gon' meet D-Lo. Thinking you an outlaw, we sending the predator. Jalen Smith scoop up the whole field, so how you gon' play here, bruh? If you release your dogs, we got a wolf hunter. LVE, tackling Dutchmen coming. If you hungry and trying to eat like Zeke, we'll send in a taco to sweep you off your feet. Now you deep in the woods. Plus we got a couple Collins. They say time and pressure make diamonds. The hot boy shining. Clock in D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in. Clock in. Gone clock in. Clock in. Gone clock in. Clock in. Clock in. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work. Clock in. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See.
Thank you for watching West Coast. This is Antoine Woods.
Thanks for watching West Coast. Go Cowboys.
This is Ray Williams. Thank you so much for hanging out with us at Dallas Cowboy Scout.
Appreciate
My
you.
man West Coast from this buck.
Thank you for watching West Coast.
Shout out West Coast Cowboys. You know it's always love over here. Raider, Cowboy, always a Cowboy.
Did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
That's where I got it from. What's up, man? It is your boy West Coast, and we are live on Facebook. We are live, man. How y'all doing today? Hey, I need you guys to share. Facebook, they done threw your boy back in the binger, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. I try to stay out of trouble for whatever reason I can. But I must have pissed somebody off up at Facebook. I think somebody in Facebook organization, I think somebody is an Eagles fan. It's always an Eagles fan hating, bro. I promise you. So I need y'all to share. Y'all already know what it is, man. But yo, while we up in here, man, let me go ahead and let y'all know who we got on the line. You already know what it is. I got the boss Cowboy on the line, man. Say what's up to him, man.
Hey, America, how you doing? Much love, peace, love, and soul, all that good stuff, Jerry curl juice, drinking Kool-Aid, eating steaks and shrimp and potatoes.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh, I'm not a big steak man. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm not.
What?
I'm not big on thick meat. I don't know what it is.
What?
Man. I'm not big on thick meat.
Somebody didn't do you right. That's all I'm going to say. We can get straight to the Cowboys, but I'm going to just tell you, you got to rock your boy Boss Cowboy Steaks the next time you come to D-Town. Trust me, you would be a steak man after your boy
you put sauce on
does his thing. Man, I would never insult my steaks with sauce.
All right, well, goddamn, bro. Back to the show then.
Somebody said it's overrated. Hey, listen, let me find Ronaldo. Don't you ever, okay? Don't you ever. All right, I just want to make that clear. Don't you ever say steak overrated in your life.
Hey, I eat meatloaf though. I don't know, man. I ain't never really been. Two meats that I've never been really into. And if you guys like these meats, y'all let me know, man. Hey, shout out to the 38 people that's on because my shows are not being shows in the news feeds right now. So that means you guys literally found the show. So I appreciate you guys. But yo, I'm gonna tell you guys two meats that I'm not really big on, bro. Is steak and salmon.
Man, they try to get us to talk football, man. Texas guy said, "Can we talk some football?" Hey, look, we go Texas guy. We go get to it, man. We got to talk a little bit about the food right now because we getting ready to eat the Jets.
All right, so yo, man. All right, so let me. Basically, that was her way of saying, "Okay, y'all was funny. Now get to the football. Get to what I only got 12%."
All right, we'll get to
you
it.
got folks out there looking like, "Look, man, I got 12% of my battery, bro." And I'm gonna give you 6% of my battery. I'm gonna be down to 6 for the rest of the day. My wife don't want to talk. She gonna take me down to 5.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They scheduling their battery out. So let's go and get to the football, man. So I'm gonna tell y'all the first topic of the night. Honestly, is something that's not funny, but this is actually becoming something that is like it used to be funny when you would see balls like people throw a football and it hit Jeff Heath in the side of the head. Bah! Hit him in the side of the head. Oh, that's funny. And then
Yeah, that
like
was funny.
couple weeks ago, not Xavier, was it Xavier Woods? Be running down the line, ball hit him in the head, boom, he dropped it. That's funny. But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, ha ha ha. But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, on October 10th, 2019, that ain't funny no more.
Right.
It's not funny no more. It's not funny that my defense is almost allergic to interceptions. Hey, I need everybody to put your phone percentage on the screen right now. Go ahead, everybody that's on there right now. Let me know what your phone percentage is right now. My boy Avery says he's on 4%. I salute you, man, for watching on 4%. You're a damn Cowboy fan. Boss Cowboy, this is not a laughing matter. I need to know, man, what the heck is going on? Because Chris Richard was in Seattle. Them boys was getting interceptions. They was the Legion of Boom. They be running down the sidelines. Richard Sherman dreads be floating in the air. What is going on? Why are we not having that effect in Dallas? Why are they not getting their hands on the ball? And it's funny because we actually both played cornerback in college. Whoa. Go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna just be straight all the way honest right now. The number one reason I think they don't have the right guys on the field, man. If you don't have ball guys on the field, you're not gonna get the ball. So Jordan Lewis was a ball guy. Like, he was known as a ball guy coming from Michigan. And matter of fact, his ball skills are so good that you trust him to play what? Offense. You don't put a man out there that's going to play periodically some receiver and you say his hands are suspect. So one of the guys with the best hands don't touch the field. So like the product that you put on the field is going to generate the results that you say you want or don't want. So if we prioritize the ball, then we should be putting the ballers out there. Another guy that's not getting any act right now, and when we say act, and some people don't understand Texas Ex, that means playing time. It's obviously Wilson, right? So Wilson was a guy that was showing some really, really good ball skills in preseason. He was graded out of all draft picks as safety, the best out of Thornhill, out of Hook, out of Gardner, out of all those guys that was drafted. We liked West Coast, that we was high on and had higher grades than him. When he hit the field, he had a high grade primarily because of sheer tackling and more importantly, he had a knack for getting the ball. So you raised a good point, man. Like, it is cute at first when the ball hits you in the head. Boop! And it's like, bro, you supposed to be like trying to get that ball, not trying to just run in space. Jeff Heat, you supposed to be trying to get that ball. When the ball hit you in the head, that's funny. But then the week after, he made the correction, but it was weirder. Now you had to eye on the ball, but you so clumsily that you just run straight into Hearns and basically knock him out with a concussion. Didn't even know you was doing it.
Jeff Heat didn't know where he was.
Yeah, he didn't know where he was. So it's almost like the instincts and the balance that you need to have to be a ball guy. Our guys are just not doing it. And then obviously we saw from Xavier Woods in training camp, and I was excited because I was like, hopefully that carries over. But now that the season has started, you're not seeing any of it with a whole lot more playing time. You know,
so what the hell is Chris Richard and his bald head doing that every day at practice?
Man, I mean, I said this before and I say it again, man. I think Chris Richard is a very passionate guy. He has a lot of good, and I'll say great leadership qualities about himself. All the passion that we always want to see in Jason Garrett, we see in him, and a lot of us hunger for it. But I'm starting to kind of lose my appetite for him because you're kind of just being straight up and forthright. You're starting to look more like a puppet. You looking like a glorified puppet to a degree, because all of us have common sense, and you trying to talk us out our common sense. You basically saying that Anthony Brown is better than Jordan Lewis, and you can find no Cowboy fans to argue about that. No. You can find Cowboy fans that'll argue that the sky is pink versus blue, right? I mean, like they'll literally argue. No, I think it's pink. The sky is pink, and one Cowboy fan to be dead serious. But if you take those same two Cowboy fans and say, but which one is better than Jordan Lewis? Both of them gonna look at each other at that same fight of pink sky versus blue sky and say Jordan Lewis is better. But despite looking at the facts and evidence, and despite saying that we trust Jordan Lewis to take on the best threats periodically on the opposite team, they turn around and say, but we don't trust you on the number 3 receiver. So it's like, what kind of power do you have to even exercise the guys that's controlling your future? And if you don't have the backbone to kind of stick up for your guys, why would we be excited about you taking over a team when somebody obviously over you is controlling you?
Yeah, hey, I think somebody out there right now is having a come to Jesus moment right now, and they're like, wait, are they talking about Chris Richard? Like, because we've never heard anyone talk, anywhere, nothing but positive and rain, like nothing. We've never heard anybody. I know. Welcome to West Coast in Boss Cowboy Show. You know what I'm saying? This is what we do over here. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because there is a huge elephant in the room. When you got Chris Richard, you were paying him for results. Last year, Chris Richard had an opportunity to leave the Dallas Cowboys, possibly for a Miami Dolphins job, right? Now, the Dallas Cowboys incentivized him to keep him. Now, that lets me know that he's making more money than the average position coach. Because the average position coach don't talk at media day. They don't have their defensive coordinator saying that I'm going to let him talk from now on. You know what I'm saying? You don't have that typically from position coaches. Unless he's a quarterback coach, and usually any quarterback coaches don't talk because they usually talking to their quarterback. So, yeah, that just doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? So that lets me know that he is getting enumerated in Boss Cowboys say in a way that puts him in an esteem. So I'm looking at it. Byron Jones is a first-round pick. Cheetah Bear Woozier is a second-round pick. And who else we got out there? Anthony Brown's a sixth-round pick. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, between your two starting corners, you would expect someone to be, halfway decent. So you can't really be like Chris Richard made Byron. I mean, he did kind of make him, but at the same time, Byron Jones was a first-round pick. You know what I'm saying? So, where I thought we were going to get the wealth of Chris Richard is on a Chris Weatherly, like a guy that's only costing me $5.56. Now, I know he made more than $5.56. I know this. But I'm saying he make like $300,000, and into the NFL scheme of things, that's $5.52. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was a good metaphor.
I thought he was gonna show his worth at, because, like, bruh, like anybody can coach Michael Jordan. I'm not saying Byron Jones and Michael Jordan. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like.
Nah, his measurables was Michael Jordan-ish. You can at least say that.
But you get what? But my thing is this, bro.
No, I get what you're saying.
Like, who in this DB core can Chris Richard be like? That's my fingerprint. You know what I'm saying? Like Rob Marinelli, guess who he got? He got Antoine Woods. We all know Antoine Woods was a practice player. He also got David Irving. That's not his fault. He likes to weed. You know what I'm saying? You can only hold him responsible for what happens on the field. Guess what? Jason Garrett has one. Who is Jason Garrett's guy that Jason fought for and got him in his program?
Dak.
You might know. He gave it away.
Dak
Prescott.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm looking at Chris Richard like, I appreciate what you did with Byron Jones. And
love your passion.
Time, when does that rub off on some other players? And then DBs, like, and I know he can do it because he did it in Seattle. Freaking Richard Sherman was not a first-round pick. Richard Sherman was a guy who played wide receiver all the way up into his sophomore year in college. Then he got hurt. It lost a little of his twitch, and guess what? They moved him to cornerback, and it was history. He was
fifth round as well.
Yeah, so I mean that's what we brought him in. Like, you can get any DB coach. That's why, like, Chris Richard was my whole foundation of why I was like, I'm not paying Byron Jones. Why? Because, bro, the exact same reason why I did not pay a mechanic to switch my lights out on my BMW. You want to know why? Because, man, they was trying to charge me $600 to switch them, and the lights is only $78. I mean, I went on YouTube.
And see, I'm sorry.
40 minutes later, bruh. Save myself $600. That's what I'm thinking with Byron Jones. If you got the coach, if you got the experience, why do I need to pay this guy?
I'm going to take it a little step further, man. I usually don't like to step into conspiracy mud, but I'm going to step both feet in it right now. it's a lot of, potential exhibit A's and B's that'll say that they go out their way to have what my friend and scout brother Jaquez say predetermined rosters. And I fully agree with that because they exercise moves that doesn't really work with
Make any
common
football
sense.
sense.
Right. So like let me give you a perfect example. Kayvon is playing safety. Kayvon is now out on IR and he has to get off the roster. You acquire a guy with super quality measurables from Green Bay. Okay. Look up this guy's measurables. He's a freak. Okay. Low 4.4s, super good size.
Great with the run. We said that. Hey, we gotta start pointing some of this stuff because we said we did a show on him before, and the very thing that we both said on air, on video, live camera, Facebook, TV, we both agreed that this guy was a run-stopping safety versus
he's a good tackler.
Safety.
He's a real good tackler.
We looked at that as a bad thing because we wanted turnovers.
Yeah, but I said this too, man. If you can tackle, we win that game versus the Rams and Green Bay. Yeah. The third level of our defense was missing tackles when Jones got back there, man. True. You know what I mean? Wide open space. So it's almost like, see, Church wasn't sexy at all. But it's one thing about Church. You won't go run by Church at all. So yeah, I mean, Church wasn't no sexy, just pull it out the air like Sharp, from New Orleans, real graceful, pick six type of guy. No, but I mean, we really don't have either. We don't have the ball skill guy or the sure tacklers. We out there really, and this whole offseason, they pumped up both Xavier Woods and they pumped up Jeff Heath. Well, we didn't get a safety because we have faith in these guys. And they pumped them up all offseason, all training camp. They just was pumping them up. But the reality, let me go back to my conspiracy, though. I don't want to get too caught up. But I'm just thinking out loud in logic. So you lose a safety, a special team safety. Who do they move up? A receiver. Explain that to me. Now, you just acquired this guy, and you say, let's put him on the practice squad. Now, he was good enough to actually play at Green Bay.
And guess who else you deactivated? Devin Smith. Like, so he's walking around the sidelines, and I'm looking at him like, bro, why are you not in pads? And who the hell is 83? Like, that's what I'm looking at, bro. Like, how the heck do you get signed? Like, how does a guy play 2 weeks and then you just activate a guy who just sat on your team? Like, I'm literally looking at this dude. I'm like, I literally had a moment because I was like, what is Devin Smith? What are you doing? And then as soon as I'm looking, Terrence Williams walks in front of him. I'm like, and who is this dude?
Yeah, and so you get a receiver and put him on special teams instead of putting Josh Jones on special teams as a Kayvon replacement. And it's what I believe I'm seeing is a manipulation of our roster. Just like Georgia Local didn't get hardly any preseason snaps. Right? Yeah. And then he out of her. And then a lot of people say, well, he didn't ball. Let me ask you a question, West Coast. Is Jarwin garbage? I really mean what I say. Is he garbage lately? Where is he?
Man, I don't know.
You know where he is. He's on the squad, but what's been happening lately is Witten is now back up in the high 80s on percentages. They mess around and work him into the 90s. So guess what? It would seem as if Jarwin is not a baller, but what's really happening is what? He's getting way less reps. So if you're not on the field, you can't make plays.
Witten was at 85% and Jarwin's was at 36%.
So
think about this, boss. So think about this. We're down 28 points, and you have Jason Witten on the field.
Bruh. Yeah. so I mean, when we all of this that we're talking about.
We literally handicapped ourselves.
Yeah. So
A guy who had
everything
3
that we,
touchdowns is sitting on the sideline like this.
so
While you're trying
everything,
to go deep.
yeah.
Don't make
So the
sense,
guy
bro.
that, yeah, and then you splitting out Witten, and look, we're not saying Witten not good, but it's not using Witten situationally right. You know what I mean? Witten split out on final drives and stuff like that. It doesn't make sense when you have a more explosive guy in Jarwin, who's been ramping up, doing his job, and ideally he fit that situation better. So your first bullet point on what's going on with the ball skills and what's going on with the turnovers on our DVs, that's everything that we're talking about right now. And so I'm gonna sum it up like this: politics and culture is what's, to me, really hurting us, not even just in the secondary overall, but I'm gonna say for sure in the secondary. Because I'm gonna say this, my mom used to always say
Hey,
this.
boss, think about this. Your 2 best ball skill players don't start, and that's in Jordan Lewis and Donovan Wilson. Your 2 best ball players, the 2 best guys on this team who have proven,
Yeah, ball
be,
skills.
that's an article. That's an article. The 2 best proven
Yeah, it is.
defensive secondary members on the Cowboys who have shown to be able to get the ball, get their hands on the ball, do not play.
Yep.
My boy
Yep.
Ronaldo says bingo.
Yep. I mean, and we not lying. We're not making it up. I mean, do you work for PFF West Coast? Because I don't. I mean, I didn't give Wilson the highest grade out of all safeties. I didn't give Jordan Lewis the highest grade. PFF gave both of those guys the highest grade. Both of them. And a lot of people don't even know that. That's what's crazy. A lot of our fans don't even know after the first game, Jordan Lewis had the highest grade out of not just all Dallas Cowboys, out of all nickel back players in the entire NFL. So that, yeah, to your point, like if you don't put guys out there that got ball skills, don't expect turnovers. Period. So if you got a bunch of clumsy guys out there and bad tacklers, that's what you go get. Because if you really look closely at the Green Bay game, that's what was mainly going on, especially in the corners. They was losing containment. And so what we was taught when I played corner, and I know you was taught this, is you never let a guy get to your outside shoulder. Ever.
It's 6.
It's pretty much 6. You know, or it's gonna definitely be a big run if they got speed. You know what I mean? It's gonna be so that, and they always told me, Marcus, make that guy go inside to all your help. Just stay outside. Even if you miss the tackle, make Mr. Tackle making him go what? Inside. Because LVE is inside. LVE is coming down on pursuit inside. All your help is coming from the inside. So if you let them bounce outside, 6. When you saw Jones waving at Jones, like bye-bye, 6, that was a containment issue. And a corner's not supposed to lose containment.
Yeah, man. And another thing I say about our corners, man, is they're really priding themselves on tackling, which is good, but they need to pride themselves on covering. Deion Sanders made a very good living, and guess what? A lot of people thought he couldn't tackle to save his life. You know what I'm saying? Your job as a corner is to cover. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the fruits of your labor get you what? Interceptions. Like I've never, like when Byron, I ain't gonna keep it. I'm gonna switch to this subject. I'm gonna switch to this next subject because we do need to talk about these Jets. But I will say this, man. When I interviewed Byron Jones at training camp, man, I had a red flag then, man. When he said that, you know, my first, what he say? I said, Byron Jones, man, tell me what we gonna do in 2019, man, to get our hands on the freaking ball, man.
Exactly what you asked him. Great question. Can I be him?
Cowboy? What did he say as a response?
Well, my job is really not to get the ball. My first job is to stop the threat. No, we need you to get the ball, bro.
Bro, like my head literally went like this.
Bro.
I'm like, no, bro. No, your job is
you get the ball.
Get the ball.
You're
considered like
he treated you like he was a journalist and you was trying to get him with a gotcha question or something.
Yeah,
it's like, bro, that's not a gotcha question, bro. That's like a straight up question. That's a straight up question. What are you gonna do to get the ball? Oh, I'm gonna stop the guy. No, what are you gonna do to get the ball?
Like
We expect you to stop the guy. That's rule number 1.
Yeah, it's ball, 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 ball. Like that's your focus is getting the ball. But hey, man, let's talk.
Right.
Let's go ahead and switch it up real quick.
Yeah, we
We're
switch.
gonna talk
Cool.
about these Jets right after this commercial break.
Thank you for watching West Coast. This is Antoine Woods.
Thanks for watching West Coast. Go Cowboys.
This is Ray Williams. Thank you so much for hanging out with us with Dallas Cowboy Scout.
Appreciate
My man West Coast in this buck.
Thank you for watching West Coast. Shout out West Coast Cowboys. You know it's always love over here. Raider, Cowboy, always a Cowboy.
Did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
A lot of different things that's going on with our secondary.
Yep, and then we back in it, man. Oh my God, back at it again. Ain't even got my hand like me.
I'm with you.
But we back at it, man. Let's get on it. So the next thing we're gonna talk about is this next subject is sponsored by Cowboys Packages, man. You guys already know the official travel package of Dallas Cowboy Scouting, aka West Coast Cowboy, man, and your boy Boss Cowboy, man. You guys already know what it is, man. This next Saturday, the 19th, we're gonna be live in the building. You already know with the big homie, man. You know the dreadhead predator himself, man. Jalen Smith will be in the building again because you already know, man, on nothing but the best for our fans. So make sure you guys come out. I'll have the information. I'll get the information up. But it's the Omni Mandalay Bay, one of the nicest hotels in the great city of Irving. I like that city. It's nice. Everything looks nice and fresh out there.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's real
Beautiful.
nice, man. Got the little lake, man.
Yeah, the hotel, the lake. Yeah, I can't wait till I come back out there, man. You right. I want to do a show out there. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's fly, right? It's super fly.
Oh man,
right?
super fly, man. And then what boys don't understand.
I want to do a show with my shoes off, and you know what I'm talking about? No
Oh
shoes, no
man,
socks, like
no. Cowboy packages, they do a really good job. It's first class, and it was packed. Packed. We was kicking it, music, everything was going down. I mean, Jalen came in like this.
That was dope how he came in.
Like he stole the show, man. Like it was a show, man. Yeah. He came in just like I'm getting ready to give all the fans love. I ain't gonna say that for every player that showed up, but he sure did. He showed up and just went out his way. So anyway, man, if y'all can come join us on that, that'd be awesome.
Hey, all right. So let me turn this volume. They say my volume's a little low. All right, bam. All right, so it should be better. So, yo, man, let's go ahead. Let's take a first dive into this New York
Jets offense.
Team. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. On paper, they're not the worst team in the NFL. On paper, the Miami Dolphins are. But after looking at film, I'm gonna keep it real. This is the worst football team in football. You know what I'm saying? Considering the transaction that they went through, and then they're about to go through another transition. Why? Because they're about to drop a whole another quarterback in the midst of this. So if any cohesion that they had with the last guy, Filker, or whoever he was horrible. But I'll tell you some stats real quick because I know y'all love them numbers. Currently, right now, they have been outscored 84-28. 84-28. They have only scored 28 points this entire season. Le'Veon Bell has one touchdown, and it is not a rushing touchdown. It is a receiving touchdown, a little touchdown that he caught from the quarterback who's actually coming back on Sunday. One thing, I looked up some stuff about the quarterback, Sam Darnold, been out with monosyphilitis. The only thing that I really saw is, like, obviously he can't drink out the same water bottle. That's nasty. You know what I'm saying? His water bottle will definitely have his name on it. Like, that's the one. That's for sure.
Well said. Nasty.
That's for sure. But one thing I also know about monos, I don't know about this either. This is what the internet said because I ain't never had it. I'll make sure that's straight. But one thing about monosyphilitis that I noticed and that was very common when it has to do with athletes is, bro, they lose weight, man. They tend to lose a lot of weight when they have monosyphilitis. You know what I'm saying? So I just know that can't be a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Because you know when you're losing weight, typically in an athlete, that means you're losing strength. Because muscle is heavier than is the heaviest thing on your body. That's why track athletes, they shred down. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of muscle is heavy. You know what I'm saying? So if you're losing weight, I would think that'd be, that can't be a good thing coming from a quarterback, right? I mean, it's not.
Not kissing.
Yeah, it's not positive. This is also his first game back. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm a USC fan. Been a USC fan pretty much my entire life. But in college, I got two teams. It's USC and the Hogs, the Razorback Hogs. But you can do that in college because this ain't the NFL. But USC, man, I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. Like from a USC fan, like Sam Darnold, in my opinion, was just an okay quarterback. Like I never really I'm out here in LA and I never really understood the hype. I was actually more of a guy that liked Josh Rosen, to be honest with you. That's why I was so okay for the Cowboys trading for him.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But I know that Josh Rosen had a bad attitude. I heard rumors that he was kind of a dick. You know what I'm saying? And that's more the reason why he fell. But Darnold was never like he went to a really good high school that's out here in California. Like where if you're the quarterback at this high school, you automatically are the quarterback at USC. Like, or you're at least gonna get a shot. And I think that kind of helped him a little bit, you know, get the job because USC was never like explosive. I felt under Sam Darnold. Like he was just a good quarterback. Like he was just an average, you know, good quarterback. But I thought Rosen was the better of the two. My boy Ken says Bama and Texas is the 2 games. All right, what's your thoughts, man?
Well, I mean, so we talking about Josh. Before we talk about Josh, not Josh, Sam, I want to give some things about this offense that'll help us relax a little bit. Some of y'all know this, some of y'all don't. Currently in points, they averaging 9.8 points a game. They're ranked 31st. In yards,
not even
they're
10.
last.
How do you average 9 points, bro?
Yeah, 9 points. They averaging 9 points. In yards, 179 yards. Now, in total yards, Dallas is first. A lot of people don't know that. In total yards, Dallas is first.
In the NFL.
In yards, they're last. They're last. You know, in passing yards, guess what? They're last. On rushing yards, guess what? They're 30th. So if anything, this is a confidence game for our defense. And it I don't want to sound overconfident, but man, if we don't win this game by at least 2 touchdowns, they still need to look at cutting some heads off somewhere.
For real.
You know what I mean? Because really, they not built for us. And then if you go through the personnel, which we not gonna do, I'm gonna go right back to Sam Darnold and talk about him first. I'm gonna agree with you, West Coast. I was super hype on Sam Darnold, but I was hype over 1 game. He played in NFL, looked like a great quarterback versus Penn State in the Rose Bowl. He looked, beautiful intermediate throws, beautiful long balls, beautiful every ball that you can throw. He threw it as if he was already in the NFL. And I was like, that dude looked like a sure number 1 pick. But then we saw other games, right? And that's why you have to see more than 1 game. Sometimes you can get a guy and he's hot. Maybe he playing in front of his girlfriend. Maybe his long-lost mom finally came to the game and he was just excited. But I never really saw that out of him again. But what happened after that Rose Bowl game is he was pumped to high heaven. And once the national media start pumping you up, like they did Wentz, like they did Luck, like they did him, they try to even force you into the number 1 overall pick. And that's what happened, where he was just hyped and hyped and hyped. And I'm still waiting on this can't miss quarterback that can just put the team on his back guy. It's not him. And I'm not expecting to see him come Sunday. I don't care how hype you are. I don't care how excited you are. You have shown me way more inconsistency as a quarterback than what you showed in that Rose Bowl. So this is the time to where it gives our defense a chance, in my opinion, West Coast and everybody listening, to rebound, to kind of get that cheating momentum, right? That overconfidence. We go out there and slap somebody and say, okay, we ready for Philly now. That's exactly what this Jets game's supposed to be. You don't play it like that.
Yeah, because I ain't going to lie to y'all. That Philly game going to be a dog fight. I'm going to be there, too.
That's going to be the dog fight.
That's going to be a dog fight.
That's going to be the dog fight. That's exactly going to be the dog fight. And I'm saying it now. We put on film how to beat us. Yep. Me and West Coast saying it. We put on film how to beat us. Run straight at us. And people not really scouting Philly right. I'm not scared of Philly at all. I hope y'all don't get the impression that I'm saying Philly better than us.
Yes,
I'm
but
not
I'll
saying
put it
that.
to you like this: the Philadelphia Eagles is a team that is built to play with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, and that's just where you have to
You
be
got Graham
honest.
coming off you got 55 coming, and the reason why I'm so fresh on this is because they just played this team, and I just literally watched Philly's last. I just watched them last night, so I'm looking at, and I know. I mean, my thing is this: Philly had these boys down 14 in the first half, in the first quarter. 2 minutes into the first quarter, they were down 14. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one thing I will always know about football. Coach used to always say, good teams beat up on bad teams. This is what it is. You're supposed to be at 50 points. You know what I'm saying? If you're a good team, you beat up on bad teams. You don't barely let them make it. And that's what's been the difference, like back in the day. Like, 2016, we beat up, like we were blowing people out. And if you were a bad team, you got blew out. Like it was 21 points something. 14 was like that too. You know what I'm saying? Remember we went to St. Louis? They had us down, came back, blew them boys out. We went to Cleveland. 2016, what did we do? We dog walked them boys. Why? Because it was a bad team and we were a really good team. Like we have to be able to take advantage of this game. And I think the Dallas Cowboys are kind of taking advantage of this game. But we got to make sure that we really take advantage of this. You take advantage of this Jets game, because I'm gonna tell you guys another stat, man. This offensive line is trash, man.
Let me say one thing real quick, West Coast, real quick, just before you keep going. Ed Hall raised a good point. I want you to get on this real quick, and I'm not saying it in a bad way. He said it doesn't matter about stats. They will come out looking like Houston Oilers and Earl Campbell. Everyone wants to beat the Cowboys. I'm sorry. They are horrible on paper.
Yeah, I mean they horrible on film.
Okay on paper and horrible on paper. They horrible on paper.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you guys something. I'm gonna tell you. I wanna let you guys know just from a player's perspective. Like, players don't play no harder in a regular game than they play in a big game. The only difference is the moments in a big game are big. Like, if you nasty, you're going to be nasty in a regular season game or in a playoff game. It's just what it is. There is, like, no extra button that people can push to just make them just wah, 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 wah. You know what I'm saying? Consistently. You are what you are. You are what you practice. If you're a good team, when you go out there and play, you should execute. And if you are a bad team, that means you're having bad practices. That means when you execute, it shouldn't be there. And this is what we're saying. Yeah. This is definitely a game where it's like we're going to measure how good we are by how we beat this team. If we go out there and beat this team by 6 points, I'm looking at the Dallas Cowboys and I'm still very nervous.
Yeah.
Because this is a team that, and think about this, Philly dog walked them and we played them the very next week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and Rodney said they would try to run Bell through our South Middle. Man, just go look them up, man. Research the Jets, man. They offensive line is old, man. I'm just being honest, man. They
Khalil, that's the best.
Weak. Our middle is weak and it's suspect, but you still have to have the people on the other side that can exploit it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
10 sacks last week. 15 sacks in the last 2 weeks. 15 sacks in the last 2 weeks. And 10 last weeks. 10. Imagine being a quarterback getting sacked 10 times. 10.
Yeah, 10. Yeah.
That's like
so it's like, and we not being like look, before I really started researching them, I was saying everything y'all was saying. We better be careful. The Jets can do it. But then when you start researching, you be like, huh? Like at some point, like you do have to kind of get like, I'm supposed to beat you. Like Muhammad Ali used to tell guys, hey man, you could be out in 6. And he would knock you out in 6, right? Because at some levels, I know I'm superior than you, right? And that's honestly my assessment on these guys. They last place almost across the board. Like, I fear the Browns more than I fear these guys. And I'm just being honest, man. And you see how the Browns up and down. Like, there should be no fear about this game. It's more so about what West Coast said. This is the type of game to where the statement is going to be, if we don't beat these guys by at least 14 points, it's still a bad indication. It's still we got to get off on these guys, especially our defense versus their offense. If we don't go off on these guys and we don't look like a Super Bowl team versus these guys, then we not being coached up right, and we still got the wrong guys on the field.
Yeah, I can't do nothing but agree with it. My boy Michael said did Ross get hurt early? He did. He tore his labrum, and so he is done for the season. He was on IR after week 1. Rodney says, fellas, look here, I'm getting pissed. We are talking about fixing our D and some of our O. I'm watching anyone D take it to the Pats A. Michael, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's just how it be, man. Any given Sunday, anybody can get it. Think about this. About 2 weeks ago, the Pats also struggled with the Buffalo Bills. They beat them by like 3 points. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's about getting it done. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be teams that are there. There are teams that are gonna be that are especially in your division, the teams that you see. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that the Patriots and the G-Man are in the division, but they were playing a division opponent in the Buffalo Bills. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna, they've seen a lot of film. They have a lot of confidence in going out there and being able to do something. And guess what? You still got to be able to drive down there and get those points.
Yeah, and then let me say one more thing on that real quick, if you don't mind, West Coast. Another thing that we got to also look at is personnel things. The Patriots are not God. They are still men that put on uniforms, and they still are subject to the same frailties that any team is. When you look at the fact that they have major problems on the offensive line of New England, yeah, that can affect Brady too, straight up. Your left tackle out. It's a lot of stuff going on. I want y'all to take a real good close look at Mahomes too. Take a real good close look at Mahomes and the difference when he got a bunch of weapons and now that his weapons are starting to wean off, right? It's a different Mahomes. Like I know when Dak was struggling in 2017 when he had the worst receivers, we would say he's supposed to throw them open. No, it don't work like that. Our quarterbacks still need a team around them. Brady need protection. Mahomes will need weapons. That's the facts of the matter. And if you're really watching them closely, you'll see that both offenses have taken a downturn, a major downturn, with the depletion of Brady's offensive line and the depletion of Kansas City and his weapons with Mahomes.
Yeah,
so like he said, any given Sunday, when you look at the personnel and you see drop-offs, that's why it really wasn't as bad of a game versus Green Bay when you look at we was missing Tyron Smith, right? And we lost Leal. And we still made a run for that. Like, obviously, we're not using no excuses. We just using reasoning to say it's not as good as we say it is, and it's not as bad as people say it is. We still got a chance to really be a Super Bowl contender. We gonna just need our guys back healthy. And it does affect that, and it does affect our offense.
Yeah, man, and just to kind of talk about Le'Veon Bell, that's actually the next thing we were going to talk about is Le'Veon Bell versus these Hot Boys, man. And just looking at this offensive line and what they've been able to do, man, Le'Veon Bell is still hopping around in the backfield I don't even think it's clicked to him that he doesn't have a good offensive line. Because if it clicked to him that he didn't have an offensive line, he would hit those holes a lot faster and a lot quicker.
Yeah,
because he's still hopping around in the backfield like he in Pittsburgh, and like he has a halfway decent offensive line. And I think that's why he's getting caught in the backfield so much. But at the same time, don't get me wrong.
He good.
Still Le'Veon Bell. He still can get some slippage.
He got that juice. Yeah, he'll put that
juice. So I'm not gonna say he now.
Yeah, he still. We call it thoops, and that's agility. In Dallas, that's agility. He has some of the best thoops. Thoops is when they hit you with that, with that shoulders and the feet. Yeah, one of the best agility. If you one-on-one with Bell, you probably gonna lose. But yeah, to your point, it shows you, man, Bell was also really good because of Pittsburgh's offensive line, who was for the longest off very underrated. Like, they still saying, if you listen to Colin Cowherd, he's still riding on, Dallas has the best offensive line in the league. It's like, bro, you gonna keep saying that when it's obviously not true? You still saying that to discredit other people? It's like, come on, bro. It's like, no, that's not the case. But when you're talking about Bell versus the Hot Boys, since that's the bullet we own, this is going to be a game that we need to look at those trenches very closely, because even though I expect us to win this trench match up, who not going to expect them to attack us where the previous team showed them that we're weak, right? So this is a test, and this is a sample size to really determine, are we in crisis mode a super crisis mode when it comes down to the interior of our defense. So, you read something from somebody on Facebook that was talking about we don't need a DT. West, we talked about it. I can't remember his name. John
Jay.
Yeah. I saw something that we talked about it where he said we don't need a DT. It's like, let me just ask everybody a question. Let's just put on our common sense hat. Okay, this is my hat. It says Texas Rangers, but let's just change it in your mind to a C and an S for common sense, okay? And let me ask you a question. What was our biggest need going into the draft?
The defensive tackle.
So defensive tackle was our biggest need. So when we got that guy, did we expect him to be an instant impact player or a role player, or did we expect him to barely play?
You expected him to be an impact player immediately.
Okay, so that's not currently happening. Okay, so let me ask you about Crawford. Is Crawford healthy, or is Crawford playing through hip issues?
He is.
Okay, so could that affect his capability to really be a good plugger?
Absolutely.
Okay, so is Antoine Woods just not coming back from a knee issue?
Yep.
Is Ross having a labrum issue where he's out?
Ross is done for the season. That's my boy.
So all the depth that we said we got for what was supposed to be a major need, none of it is impactful, and most of it is banged up. Is that what we saying?
Yes,
but we also saying it's not a need. It's like, what is going on with our own arrogance? Like, what kind of arrogance is that? How can you go into the draft like this is pivotal to our team? Then all of it is breaking down before your eyes, and then we don't get in crisis mode about it, West Coast. I just, can you help me? Am I tripping? Am I?
I mean, somebody that, you know, at the end of the day, like you always say, man, somebody took a chance on Tristan Hill, and they're going to make sure that they give him every opportunity to try to. And, like, there was even times I saw in this Packer game where we were almost like in a 5, it was like a 5-2 almost, like a 5-2, could have been even a 3-4, I don't know. But I know they had him at that nose tackle, and it did not look good, buddy.
I don't mean to laugh, bro. Because sometimes it hurts so bad you gotta laugh. West Coast, you feel me? Sometimes it hurts.
Tristan Hill might be a good player next year,
or 2 years or next year,
but not this year.
Yeah,
and so Connor Williams' problem first. He got the size, and you don't get size.
And Christian Shaw said this. Christian Shaw said this. West Coast said this yesterday. If you listen to the show, Christian Shaw said this. If you remember this, when everybody was, can I say my one curse word? Ain't too bad. Okay. When everybody was bitching about us passing up on the safeties, because people was mad this offseason about that. Justifiably mad. And they sent out Christian Shaw as the spokesperson, and he said, it was my idea to get Tristan Hill. Because in my knowledge and in my thinking, if you have a DT that can affect the quarterback, that helps your safety. Yeah. But so let's take that same logic. Let's take that same logic and then apply it to week 5. So if your DT is not impacting the quarterback, what is that doing to you?
It's now factual now.
So, like, I don't get this optimism as if we're okay. If we trying to make a Super Bowl run, right, you have to plug the biggest gaps that's causing us not to increase our potential at this run.
I.e. the Philadelphia Eagles 2017. What did they do? They went and got Jay Ajayi for their running back, and they went and got Ashawn Jeffries. I always call him Ashawn. I think it's Ashawn, but whatever. Yeah,
they filled our holes. Another thing that happened that we also did last year is we filled a hole with Cooper. But what I don't want us to do is to sit back and wait till Philly run it down our neck and be like, oh, damn, we got a DT problem. No, that's easy to see because it's the same problem that you had going into the draft. So let's not act like it's new. No, We just went down everything that's going on with this team. When you depending on Covington, and Covington is playing good, but the way that we use our DTs and rotate them, we need a lot of them, and all of them, or not all of them, but a lot of them already banged up. And it's early in the season. So if you playing banged up early in the season, does it likely get better or worse as the season goes on?
It's gonna get worse each and every day. Each and every game you play is gonna get worse.
So it's like, so to me, that says we need to go into crisis mode on getting some run stoppers in here. Some run stoppers. I mean, like some real life shopping. I mean, Will McClay on the phone, looking at his boards, talking to teams, trying to talk to especially the losing teams and the teams that's trying to build and trying to get draft picks, but they might be overstocked at D tackles. You need to get on the phone and be like, hey, man, we willing to talk.
I mean,
willing to talk.
Real. I dropped a video today. Like, we're about to play a team in the New York Jets. They got a D tackle who was a 6 overall pick, and Leonard Williams, who I think the Dallas Cowboys should definitely take a look at. He's 25 years old. He's on his 5th-year option. He's playing on his 5th-year option right now. The Jets already. There's a really good chance that they're not trying to. They've already put his name out there as someone who's available. He was a Pro Bowler in 2016. He's a perfect Marshall's pick. You know you're not going to re-sign him next. You know you're not going to re-sign him next year. So why not give up a 4th-round pick? For a guy like that. Drop him with a Rob Marinelli, man. Think about this. Also, you have connections. Why? Because he played at USC. Him and Antoine Woods have history. Now you got 2 guys who play college ball dropping on the same defensive line with Rob Marinelli, and it's going to be very easy for Leonard Williams to buy into Rob Marinelli's. Why? Because he has Antoine Woods sitting right in front of him.
Man, I love you, West Coast.
People
West
say
Coast.
Geno Atkins. I love Geno Atkins, but Geno Atkins is old. Leonard is 25.
Like, yeah, that fit exactly. That'd fit us.
Huh?
No, that fit us. Everything you just said, man. I don't kiss men, but if you was in my face, I would go to your forehead and.
If you get Geno Atkins, you're gonna have to replace him in 2 years anyway, because he's old. If you get I don't want to do Band-Aids anymore. Let's just fix the freaking problem. Like, you've been patching that tire 15, 16 times. At some point, it's gonna blow, and it's gonna blow when you're on the freeway. You know what I'm saying? Just go get a new tire. Just fix the dang problem. When I always say this, when I was a district manager at T-Mobile, I used to tell my customers, like, yo, some problems you have in life, the only way you can fix it is by spending money. That's what it is, man. If you want to guarantee that you can stop the run, just like you want to be able to guarantee. Think about this. We wanted to be able to guarantee that we could run the ball. So what do? We paid Ezekiel Elliott. We gave him guarantee money because he guarantees he's going to run the ball. So if you want someone to stop the run, bro, you got to put that same in, like you're paying and it's funny to me that the Dallas Cowboys would value Ezekiel Elliott at $90 million running the ball, but you don't value what you're doing to other teams as in stopping the run. You would think a team that runs the ball would understand how important it is to stop the run. Why? Because that's what we're trying to do to you.
Right. Let me address a real good question from Instagram. I love this one. Martin Druskowski. Man, if I butchered your name, I ain't tried to. He said, that's true, but Dallas has the most, and I love this because we talked about this today. Dallas has the most pending free agents in the NFL. They lead the NFL in that department. Should we continue getting these pending free agents? That's exactly why we should go all in now, because this is a all in moment for us. This is because we have so many people. This team won't be the same after next year. It's going to be a lot of people that's going to fall off.
We got
a lot of people
on 1-year deals in this team. 26.
Right. So to address your question, it's about timing. If you're looking at that, basically, we have a complete team for the most part. We have a real life complete team for the most part with one major hole in the middle. And then as the season goes on, the running game becomes that much more important because it gets cold. What happens in the cold? Do you throw or do you run?
You run.
Okay, so the team that's the weakest in the trenches is usually going to get exploited in the post.
Like, what do you think New England's going to do? New England's not going to try to come out there and throw the ball on us.
No, they're going to run on us.
They're not going to try to run the ball. They're going to try to run the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I love that question.
Like any
And
team that's
and
playing
another
the Dallas
thing
Cowboys
too
should
is I
try to
want to
run the
say
ball.
this about us with free agents. It's one thing about Steven. Steven and Will are really, 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 really good at plugging holes in free agents cheap. So I'm not even really concerned about their ability to be able to fill some of the holes that we're going to have next year, because you saw them pull Georgia Local, even though they cut him. You saw them pull a lot of cheaper deals, even Cobb and all these. They was cheaper deals than normal, right? But that still worked. So in terms of next year, I really don't even want to get too caught up in next year when I'm trying to win now, because I think that's Stephen Jones' problem. He gets so budget conscious that sometimes he don't really sometimes recognize that your time is now.
Yeah, he's so
And
focused
some
on he's so focused on having 2,000. Man, Jesus can come back. You do all that, and we in heaven chilling like a mug. You know what I'm saying? And West Coast still ain't got no Super Bowl as an adult. Come on, man. I mean, I want Jesus to come back, but I want to win a Super Bowl too. I hope New York can work that
unless they
out,
got
man, for
football
real.
in heaven. But at the same time, man, it's I'm looking at a crisis, and really, when it's a crisis, you gotta sometimes do what you gotta do, and that's what we did last year. If you remember, we went in arrogant and cocky, right?
Yeah.
On receiver by committee. Oh, we don't need Des Bryant. Dak, Des is good. I mean, Dak is gonna, he likes to spread the ball around. Me. So we don't really need a number one. It's only a handful of those types of guys anyway. 3 and 5 later. Here's a first for Cooper. Hey, you want a second? We'll
Hey,
throw it.
boss, think about this. Think about this. I believe this. I'm not saying this could happen, but I'm saying it is realistically. We beat the Jets and fumble against the Eagles. You're 4-4. This time of the season, we're 3-5.
It's 4-3.
4-3.
But that's still bad. It's still kind of looking like last year. To your point, I see what you're saying. Yeah, and it can happen over arrogance, and it can happen over us riding it. And see, Will McClay talked about that. It was a campaign within the organization, even after 3 and 5, to where there were some people that was talking about riding out the ship. And Will McClay said, no. We're not riding out the ship.
Yeah.
And the ship that he was talking about was receiver by committee.
What did Steven
But
say? Steven said it took an act of Congress for them to give up the first round pick because they did not want to do it. He said that. Steven Jones said that. He said it took an act of Congress.
Yeah, and Adam said we beating the Eagles, and I hope we beat them too. I really do, man. I'm just also looking at the fact that we're exposed, because it's not even just about the Eagles. It's about going forward, trying to win a Super Bowl, right? The Eagles are the first people in the way, but we gonna run into teams that can run the ball. Minnesota can run the ball.
Man, yes they can. They put up 176 against Green Bay.
Yeah, so it's teams we go face. We just against Green Bay had the ball ran on us.
Hey,
we might see them again.
98 yards on Green Bay.
Are we gonna fix that? That's what we're talking about. So it's not even just Philly. When we brought up Philly, the point about Philly was we know they're going to attack us there because they're built for that. They got the best first round tackle in the draft this year.
Yeah. And we need to beat some of these, like my boy McTrovic said, we need to beat some of these playoff teams.
We need to beat some of these playoff teams, because then that's going to be an issue of home field advantage.
Yeah.
And we already got two teams that we might see because we took L's to them. They more than likely going to have first dibs on who go get home field advantage, unless we take off on our record. Yeah, so now it's already serious right now. I mean, a lot of people
my God,
we'll be okay.
Point, boss. Hey, that's real talk. Like real talk. Think about this, boss. We cannot have the exact same record as the Green Bay Packers or the New Orleans Saints, because if we do, we will have to go to their house to play them in the playoffs. Yep. And it's gonna be cold if it's Green Bay. It's gonna be cold. And think about the hostile. Not even forget the cold. Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs in Green Bay. Yeah. Tell me how many times he lost that game. And with Ross out.
You know, and then what happened a lot of times to people that's injured and have bone issues when it's cold?
Yeah.
They ache.
Yep.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. So, like, for people to actually, I was real disappointed. I'm not really trying to beat up on them, but I was disappointed to see somebody walk out and say, the Dallas Cowboys are not interested in a DT. They're not doing it. It's like it's stupid or something. Like we talking stupid or something. No, man, if you add up exactly what's going down, it's serious.
Yeah.
Like dead serious.
But yeah, man. Well, shoot, man. Boss Cowboy, we've been on here for about an hour and 15 minutes. Shoot, man, we let these folks know where they can find you at, man. And shoot.
I got to unmute West Coast. Give me a second.
The Dallas Cowboys. All right, let them know where. Hey, before we get up out of here, though, man, I want to ask you, man. You know, there was a situation that happened in Dallas today, man, and we wanted to talk about it because we think it is it is kind of connected to the Dallas Cowboys because he's someone the Cowboys have branded with. And I know you guys heard about boxer Errol Spence being involved in a fatal car accident. Not fatal, Lord forgive me. In a ridiculous car accident that he was involved in. Praise God it wasn't fatal, man. But we just want to rejoice that he has been, it's been known that he's been healthy. And the only thing that's messed up is his teeth. So praise God for that.
Man, that was crazy, man. Like, good point, because, like Errol Spence, for Dallas fans, he is important because he co-brands with Dallas. So he's an extended family member. And to see what he went through, especially me, it touched my heart because he's local. Like, he's literally local. Like, we see him around. That's how close he is to us on the South Side. So to see a guy that just seemed like he was accomplishing the pinnacle of his career and getting ready to start a run seemed that it could be over so fast and so abrupt was disheartening this morning. But to see that God protected him so much, because the reports are coming out now that actually not wearing his seatbelt more than likely saved his life. Because if he would have been contained in that car as it was spinning around the street, and if you haven't seen the video, if you have not seen that video, you need to go see the video, how messed up that was, man. He would have been out of there. And then, like, I heard this morning because at my barbershop is a lot of people that's in his actual personal camp. So they're in his camp. They are like right there with him when he getting ready to fight. They work out with him. Those guys are in my barbershop. They wasn't there. They was all at the hospital. So I went up there. I said, hey, man, what happened? Right? And they said, man, one of the guys said, man, I heard he got 2 broke legs. And so I'm like, God. And then West Coast called me concerned because I'm a Dallas guy. I love Dallas. I rock Rangers. I do everything Dallas, And he was concerned, like, boss, hey, man, how Spence, And I was like, bro, it might who knows? Like, it was like that. But then to just hear that he only had issues with his teeth, man, God, thank you. Now, and then maybe it's a life lesson, because it's a life lesson, not just for him, but for all of us that don't take life for granted. Be very careful, take extra precautions, drive slower, drink less. And I'm not saying he was drinking. I'm just saying these are the type of messages that I'm trying to take from it. Like, go the extra mile to keep yourself safe, because life can just go.
Yeah, man. And if had that would have been something, fatal, you know what I'm saying, or something serious, man. You got to remember, man, this guy has great relationships with your team and with players. He was just at the game. The last game I was there, he was there. And so, you think about how affected you be someone, you lose someone in your circle, you know what I'm saying, or someone that, he's a guy that's a pretty prominent in that area. But you're absolutely right, man. Just really let you know how literally you could be on top of them. Like I said, I told my daughters earlier today, it's like, because we watched the fight here, and I was like, you remember the guy that fought? And I told them what happened. They was like, wow. I said, it's amazing, right? How you can literally be on top of the world on one day, and then the very next day you could be trying to fight to stay in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Just like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and my boy Deshaun says, get an Uber. You goddamn right, man. But shoot. Man, just crazy, man. But I just praise God that he's good and everything is straight, man. But shoot, Boss Cowboy, man, shoot. Before we get up out of here, man, let them know where you can find you at, man.
Yeah, definitely at Boss Cowboy Sports. We got a lot of pen and articles coming out there. I love the idea that West Coast threw out there, and I might write about that this weekend. It's just kind of like just to
What
really
y'all
break it
doing that?
down. I mean, it was a beautiful idea, man. You be throwing out some inspirational stuff, man. You inspired me to write sometime, man. When you said what's really going on with our secondary and why we're not getting the ball skills, like I should put that out, like write about it, and then
Yeah, that's an obvious. Like the two
yeah, that's a
best
beautiful
graded
article. Yeah,
DBs on the Cowboys don't play.
yeah, like the ball skill guys don't play, and that's gonna be my
And
answer.
that's
I'm
the
not.
pressure you put on the organization.
Yeah, and the way you scouts can help us is when you get my article, don't just read it and hit the like. Don't just, hey, like, thanks, boss. This is good. Good read. No, spread it. You know what I mean? Put it out there. Put it on your page. Put it in some groups. Do stuff like that. That way we kind of putting the word out there. Because we always trying to do our part to go viral on ideas we believe in. And I know most of y'all believe in the stuff we just talked about anyway. So that's the one to be looking out for. And then I got some stuff coming out about Cowboy packages and the experience I had myself, because I write about my experiences, because a lot of people don't really understand that it's really not just for West Coast and me to get up close to these players. And I'm not saying we boppers, but it's cool. You know, it's kind of cool to where you can actually talk to these guys yourself and ask them questions yourself. And it's places like Cowboy packages that make that available. So I'm gonna write about that. And like I put it on my Facebook page. West Coast and David, allowed my sons, to actually sit up front with Jalen and take pictures with Jalen, and Jalen cool with him and hugging him and putting his arm around him and stuff. And I took that picture because it's a moment I'm always remember, because it took me back when I was a kid, and my mom and my dad used to tell me and teach me about the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, just always teaching me about it. Like, even when we was watching games in the 90s and they would say, ooh, Eminem just got down. And they reminded me about, and they would talk to me about games. And I was looking at it like, wow, these are third generation Cowboy fans that's actually been raised to be that way. But their experience because of Cowboy package is going to be better than mine, because they're going to be up close to these guys. So we want y'all to experience that. I'm going to write about that, read about that. And you'll be able to find it on my page as well as my Twitter at Boss Cowboy Sports. And then you'll be able to find it, obviously, on my Twitter handle. It's backwards. Remember that. And it's at Cowboy_Boss.
You know it, man. Hey, and you guys already know what it is. It's your boy West Coast, man, the most traveled cowboy blogger out there, independent cowboy blogger out there, man. If it's a cowboy event, I'm gonna be up in it. Hey, this Saturday, no, not this Saturday, but Saturday the 19th, I'll have the flyer up tomorrow. But the 19th, we're gonna be live, man, up in that thing at the Omni Mandalay Bay with Jalen Smith, man, having ourselves a great time. Right there in Irving, man. If you want to come out, let me know. You already know, no matter what the prices of the tickets are, I'm always gonna have my West Coast code 25 to get you $25 off the ticket, man. So hey, you guys already know what it is. Never look down, because the star's up. Peace.
Thank you for watching West Coast. This is Antoine Woods.
Thanks for watching West Coast. Go Cowboys.
This is Ray Williams. Thank you so much for hanging out with us with Dallas Cowboy Scout.
Appreciate
My man West Coast from this buck.
Thank you for watching West Coast. Shout out West Coast Cowboys. You know, it's always love over here. Raider, Cowboy, always a Cowboy.
Did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!